Ladies and gentlemen, imagine standing before a door you've been waiting to open your entire life. You've heard its promise, sensed its presence, but it remains closed. Every ounce of you desires to step through it, to walk into the unknown and embrace what's beyond. But what if I told you that the key to that door lies not in your desperate effort to push it open, but in your willingness to align with something greater? Too often, we spend our days caught in the hustle, in the noise, in the chase for what we think we need. We hold tightly to expectations, to the outcomes we envision. We think that if we just try hard enough, if we just push a little further, we will force the door open. But the truth is, sometimes the door won't open because it's not the right one for us at this moment. Sometimes the door remains locked because we haven't yet tuned ourselves to what's truly meant for us. In moments like these, we need to remember one crucial thing. Let go of control and trust that God will open the right door at the right time. This doesn't mean you stop moving forward or lose your ambition. Far from it. It means releasing the need for every step to be predictable. It means moving in faith, knowing that what is meant for you will unfold when you are ready, not on your timeline, but in perfect alignment with a higher purpose. Our thoughts shape our reality, but it's not about the forceful thoughts that come from fear and doubt. It's about those subtle, quiet thoughts that emanate from a place of peace. When we stop trying to force every situation, when we let go of the need for control, we open ourselves to divine guidance. This is when the door opens, not by our doing, but by God's timing. Let me ask you this. How often do we find ourselves knocking on doors that aren't meant to open for us? How often do we spend energy trying to fit ourselves into spaces that aren't aligned with who we are? It's a cycle of frustration, of feeling stuck, as if we're knocking on the same door again and again, but nothing changes. And yet, there is always another door, a door that has been waiting for you, designed just for you. But we cannot see it until we stop clinging to the door that doesn't serve us. When you let go, when you release the struggle, you begin to align with the flow of life itself. You trust that God knows your heart, your dreams, your desires. God knows the journey that will allow you to become the person you were always meant to be. And so when you release your need to control, to rush, to push, you create space for the right opportunities, the right people, the right experiences to flow into your life. Trust the process. Trust that God knows the way, even when you can't see the path ahead. Sometimes the door may not look like you expected it to, but it will always lead you to exactly where you need to be. Your responsibility is simple. Show up, keep your heart open, stay curious. And when the door opens, walk through it with gratitude, knowing that you didn't have to force it, you didn't have to struggle. The door opened because it was meant to, and God, in all His wisdom, led you to it. So I encourage you, let go of your need to push against what isn't working. Trust that the door that's right for you is already there, waiting to open. And when it does, step through with faith, with certainty, and with a heart full of peace. Trust in divine timing means recognizing that everything happens when it's meant to, not when we want it. It's understanding that life's events unfold in their own rhythm, and that rhythm is guided by a higher force far beyond our understanding. Often we find ourselves in a hurry, wanting things to happen at a specific time, believing that if we push hard enough, we can control the outcome. However, divine timing teaches us that rushing or forcing things does not accelerate the process. It only creates unnecessary stress and frustration. When we trust in divine timing, we release our attachment to outcomes. We stop obsessing over when something will happen or why it hasn't happened yet. Instead, we trust that the universe or God knows what we need and when we need it. This allows us to focus on the present moment and live with an openness to what's coming without being blinded by impatience. In the moments where we feel like we are stuck or nothing is progressing as we envisioned, it's easy to forget that timing plays a crucial role in the unfolding of our lives. Not every door is meant to open when we want it to. Some doors need more time, and we need more growth before they open. Divine timing is about surrendering to the idea that we don't always know what's best for us, and trusting that there's a bigger picture that we may not yet see. When we trust in divine timing, we are not passive. Instead, we stay active in our journey, remain open to opportunities, and continue to move forward with faith, knowing that the right things will fall into place exactly when they are supposed to. Letting go of control is one of the most liberating yet challenging practices we can embrace. In a world where we are constantly told to take charge, manage every detail, and ensure that everything unfolds according to our plans, surrendering control can feel like a daunting task. But true freedom comes when we accept that there are things beyond our grasp, forces that work in the background of our lives that we cannot dictate. When we hold on tightly to the need to control every situation, we create tension within ourselves. We may become anxious, frustrated, or even paralyzed by the fear of things not going as we expect. The more we grip onto the outcome, the more we close ourselves off from the flow of life. This resistance only blocks the natural course of events and prevents us from being open to the possibilities that are waiting to unfold. Letting go of control does not mean abandoning responsibility or losing your sense of direction. It means allowing space for the unknown, trusting that what is meant for you will come at the right time and the right way. When we let go, we stop forcing things to happen. We stop pushing against what is not working and instead open ourselves to a new way of moving through the world. This requires immense faith and trust, as it challenges our instinct to manage everything. But the more we surrender control, the more we realize that life has a way of working out when we stop trying to micromanage every aspect of it. By doing so, we create the conditions necessary for things to flow naturally, bringing us into alignment with what is truly right for us. Aligning with a higher purpose means moving through life with an understanding that there is a reason behind every experience, even if we can't see it immediately. It requires a shift in perspective where we stop viewing events and circumstances as random or meaningless, and instead recognize that each moment plays a part in shaping our journey towards something greater. We are not here merely to exist, but to fulfill a deeper calling, a purpose that transcends the day-to-day and connects us to a larger plan. To align with this higher purpose, we must first acknowledge that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. Life isn't just about achieving personal goals or chasing material success. It's about discovering the truth of who we are and understanding how we can contribute to the world around us. This alignment doesn't always come easily. It requires introspection, self-awareness, and a willingness to step outside our comfort zones. It often means releasing the things that no longer serve us and trusting that what we're being called to do will lead us to a place of fulfillment and meaning. When we align with a higher purpose, we begin to live with intention. Every choice, every step, every action becomes a reflection of this deeper truth. It guides us, providing clarity when we face uncertainty, and gives us the strength to move through challenges with resilience. We start to see opportunities and connections where we once saw obstacles. By aligning ourselves with a higher purpose, we let go of the need for validation and external approval, because we know that we are following a path that resonates with our innermost selves. This alignment allows us to live more authentically, in harmony with our true nature. Releasing the struggle and the chase is a profound act of surrender that allows us to move through life with greater ease. For much of our lives, we're taught to work hard, push through obstacles, and strive relentlessly toward our goals. This drive to succeed often becomes an all-consuming force, leaving us exhausted, overwhelmed, and disconnected from the joy of the present moment. We become so focused on the destination that we lose sight of the journey itself. The pressure to achieve and the anxiety that comes with it can make life feel like an endless race with no finish line. When we choose to release the struggle, we begin to embrace a different approach. It doesn't mean we stop pursuing our dreams or lose our ambition. It means we stop forcing things into place. We stop engaging in unnecessary battles with ourselves, with others, and with life itself. We recognize that effort alone is not always the key to success. Instead, we allow things to unfold naturally, trusting that what is meant for us will come without the need for constant struggle. Letting go of the chase is about finding peace in the present moment. It's about realizing that fulfillment doesn't lie in the outcome, but in the process. When we stop chasing external validation or measuring our worth against others, we free ourselves from the weight of comparison and self-doubt. We come to understand that we are already enough and that everything we need is already within us. Releasing the struggle allows us to step into a state of flow, where life feels less like an uphill battle and more like a journey of discovery. This shift in mindset opens the door to greater creativity, deeper connection, and a more authentic experience of life. Focusing on peace, not force, shifts our entire approach to life. It is easy to believe that in order to succeed, we must push, struggle, and exert our will against the world. We live in a culture that celebrates hard work and relentless pursuit, where achieving goals often means overcoming constant resistance. However, this mindset can lead to burnout, frustration, and disconnection from our true selves. When we focus on peace, we understand that the energy we put into the world matters more than how hard we try to control it. Peace is not passivity. It is a state of alignment where we act from a place of calmness, clarity, and intent. It is about responding to life's challenges with a sense of equilibrium rather than reacting with tension, fear, or anger. When we cultivate inner peace, we are able to navigate difficulties with grace, allowing us to make decisions that are more thoughtful and grounded. Force, on the other hand, tends to generate resistance both within ourselves and in the world around us. When we push too hard, we often find that things become harder, doors close, and our efforts are met with frustration. By choosing peace, we tap into a deeper flow of energy that guides us toward the right opportunities and the right people. We trust that we do not need to fight for every inch of progress. Instead, we allow ourselves to move in harmony with the natural rhythms of life. Peace invites us to listen to our intuition, to follow what feels right, and to remain open to the unfolding process. This approach creates a sense of ease and abundance, where success is no longer about forcing things to happen, but about allowing them to manifest in their own time and in their own way. Trusting that God knows your heart's desires is an act of faith that requires a deep belief in something greater than ourselves. Often we feel the need to control our path, pushing our own agenda and desires onto the world. We become convinced that we must chase after what we think will bring us fulfillment, often ignoring the quiet whispers within us that suggest there's a greater plan at play. But when we trust that God understands our heart's true longing, we open ourselves to a sense of peace and surrender, knowing that everything we need is already known to the universe. Our hearts are constantly yearning for meaning, for purpose, for connection, and for love. Sometimes these desires manifest as specific dreams or goals, and we push forward relentlessly, believing that we must create these outcomes ourselves. But God, in His wisdom, understands what is truly best for us, even when we can't see it ourselves. When we trust that God knows our desires, we shift from a mindset of scarcity and struggle to one of abundance and surrender. We trust that the path we're on is leading us exactly where we need to go, even if it doesn't align with our expectations. This trust allows us to release the need to control every step of our journey. We stop obsessing over outcomes and timelines, and instead, we embrace the process with a sense of calm assurance. We become more attuned to the subtle signs, the serendipitous moments, and the gentle nudges that guide us toward what is truly right for us. Trusting that God knows our heart's desires means understanding that what is meant for us will always find its way to us, in the right form and at the right time, even if it looks different than we imagine. Stopping the habit of knocking on doors that aren't meant for us is an essential step in finding peace and clarity. For many of us, there is a deep-seated fear of missing out or of not achieving our goals. This fear can drive us to pursue paths that seem promising at first, but ultimately aren't aligned with who we truly are. We often convince ourselves that a particular opportunity, relationship, or situation is the answer to our problems, and we relentlessly knock on that door, hoping it will open. We keep pushing, thinking that if we try hard enough, the door will eventually yield. However, what we fail to realize is that not all doors are meant for us to open. When some doors may appear enticing, but they lead to paths that do not serve our highest good. When we persist in trying to enter spaces that aren't meant for us, we only drain our energy and create frustration. We become so consumed with what we think we want that we fail to notice the doors that are truly meant for us, waiting to be opened. Learning to stop knocking on the wrong doors involves trust. Trust in the process and trust in ourselves. It means acknowledging that some opportunities are not aligned with our true purpose and that it's okay to let them go. Instead of banging on doors that refuse to open, we begin to trust that there are other doors, doors that will open effortlessly when the time is right. We start to recognize the doors that lead to growth, fulfillment, and peace, and we move toward them without hesitation. By releasing the need to force our way through doors that aren't meant for us, we make room for the right ones to reveal themselves. Being open to the right opportunities is about embracing life with a sense of possibility and flexibility. Too often, we become rigid in our expectations and ideas about what our path should look like. We form detailed plans, set strict timelines, and sometimes become so attached to our vision of success that we miss the subtle signs guiding us towards something better. We hold on tightly to opportunities that seem like the right ones based on our current understanding, not realizing that something even more fitting is just around the corner. Openness requires the willingness to release our attachments to specific outcomes and trust that there are opportunities out there that may surprise us. It's about being receptive to life's twists and turns and accepting that our initial plans may not always be the ones that lead to our deepest fulfillment. When we stay open, we can see the possibilities we might have missed if we were too focused on a single direction. Being open doesn't mean passively waiting for things to fall into our lap. It's about being actively engaged while also allowing space for the unexpected. It's about letting go of preconceived notions about what success, love, or happiness should look like. Life often presents opportunities in forms we don't expect, and only by staying open to those moments can we recognize them for what they are. This openness gives us the freedom to pivot, adapt, and move with the flow of life rather than forcing things to fit into a rigid mold. When we trust that the right opportunities will come at the right time, we stop chasing after every possibility and start waiting patiently for the one that aligns with our higher purpose. Staying curious and showing up with faith is about maintaining an open heart and mind, regardless of the challenges we face. Curiosity fuels growth. It keeps us engaged in the present moment and encourages us to explore new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities. When we approach life with curiosity, we are less likely to feel defeated by setbacks. Instead of viewing obstacles as roadblocks, we begin to see them as opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Curiosity allows us to embrace the unknown with excitement rather than fear, knowing that every experience, whether positive or negative, adds value to our journey. Showing up with faith means committing to the process without needing to control every outcome. Faith is not blind optimism. It's a deep belief that no matter how uncertain the path may seem, we are always guided toward what is best for us. It means trusting that, even when things don't go according to plan, there is a greater purpose at work. Faith keeps us grounded and centered when life feels unpredictable. It's the trust that the right opportunities will unfold, even if we can't see them right now. By showing up with faith, we are ready to move forward with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. When we combine curiosity with faith, we become active participants in our own transformation. We are not waiting for life to hand us answers, but rather we are embracing the journey with an open heart. We understand that showing up, no matter how unclear the next step may be, keeps us in alignment with our purpose. Every step we take, every question we ask, and every moment of faith we practice brings us closer to what is meant for us. Walking through open doors with gratitude is a powerful practice that shifts our mindset from entitlement to appreciation. Often when we achieve something we've worked hard for, we focus on what comes next, what's still missing, or how we can do better. We may overlook the blessings and opportunities that have already manifested in our lives. Gratitude, however, invites us to pause and reflect on the journey, acknowledging not only the results, but the process that brought us here. It encourages us to be present and to truly appreciate the doors that have opened, rather than constantly seeking new ones. When we walk through open doors with gratitude, we acknowledge that these opportunities have come at the right time and for the right reasons. Gratitude helps us understand that everything we've experienced, both good and bad, has led us to this moment. By expressing gratitude, we shift our focus from what's missing to what is already abundant in our lives. This shift fosters a sense of contentment and peace, allowing us to step through each door with confidence, knowing that it's exactly where we are meant to be. Gratitude also deepens our connection to the present moment. It reminds us that we don't have to chase after every opportunity or feel anxious about what the future holds. When we are truly grateful for the doors that open before us, we embrace them with a sense of reverence, recognizing that they are part of the larger plan for our lives. Each open door is a blessing, a step forward, and a reflection of the growth we've experienced. Gratitude transforms the way we approach every new opportunity, allowing us to fully appreciate the journey and the doors that have opened for us.